In the words of famous rapper Eminem, now see that gerbil, grab that tube, shove it up my butt. Let that little rascal nibble on my asshole. Yeah, right. That. Wait, no, that's not the right one. I'm just reading like private notes of Nicholas Latifi. Sorry. They're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison. They're trying to build a prison for you and me to live in. This, of course, relates to Lewis Hamilton and the infamous penalties in the Austrian Grand Prix, as well as him losing to Lando Norris in Silverstone. Welcome to the Avant-Garde One podcast. Today, to make your time of the day worse, my name is Milo, and I am the main host. Coming from the Mujahideen-led desert of currently Afghanistan, I believe, running just through 2 VPNs today, and maybe 1 supermarket Wi-Fi, is Miran. Hello.
Hello, it's just 2 VPNs today, but glad to be back, and hopefully I'll be able to make the full length of the podcast before I just die of boredom.
Yes, and joining us again, a special guest coming from Brazil, knows a lot about prison systems, drug abuse, and most importantly, hating on ethnicities. Welcome, JV.
Hello, yes, I'm back. I don't hate on ethnicities. What do you mean?
Yeah, this is
I have like 4. I have like 4.
This is a good topic to talk about. You know, racial systems and situations, but this is not what the podcast is about. This is a very serious podcast about Formula One, as we all know. And just a question: did you watch the Austrian and the British Grand Prix?
Maybe the Austrian, yes. The British Grand Prix, no. But I should have.
I don't actually remember if I did watch the Austrian GP. I think I might have watched it. No, I think I missed the Austrian GP. And the British GP, I was outside with my friends, and I watched a tiny bit of the British GP, and I was using supermarket Wi-Fi to watch like 5 laps of the British GP.
This is the best. This is the best way to watch Formula One, especially in the current climate. So, as we all know, those 2 races happened, and I just have a wholehearted question to Nico Hulkenberg. Okay, so I'm doing research right now. 2023 Austrian Grand Prix. Hold on. I have a question. How is it possible, okay, to complete 12 laps, and I believe Nico Hulkenberg, he completed 12 laps and still received a penalty for track limits. That's roughly 12 minutes of being on the circuit before retirement. How? How does one do that? This is... how? Like, I love Nico Hulkenberg, but how do you do that?
I
I'm gonna
mean...
let Joao answer the question.
I mean... Are we talking about the situation about the racing lines, or
I'm talking about whatever the hell happened during the Austrian Grand Prix with like 1,200 track limits violations.
Oh yeah, didn't Esteban Ocon have like 1,500,000 penalties regarding track limits?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
Esteban
hilarious.
Ocon got 30 seconds worth of penalties. He like. The thing is, though, Ocon wasn't even in the points. He finished 12 and got demoted to 14th.
That's 30 seconds in 40, and you'd only get demoted 2 positions. That is insane. It just means that the people behind you are that bad as well when it comes to track limits. Which, yeah, the Austrian Grand Prix, amazing track limits moments there. I mean, not really. The track limit situation in Austria is so strict. We've seen it before as well, but the Formula 1, but every single person in the F1 grid just went, you know what, it won't happen again, surely not. And here we are.
You know, my favorite moment of the race, which I didn't even watch, was when Lewis Hamilton started to complain about other people track limits while he himself got a time penalty for exceeding track limits. Like that race, I remember people were once again doing Crimelton on Twitter because he was just constantly complaining. But yeah, the thing is, of course, after the race, huge rockers because Aston Martin and Fernando Alonso, of course, he obviously saw every single track limit violation, right? And noted it down in the cockpit of the car, you know, on the track map. He was just like, you know, he grabbed a pen and paper. He was bored. He noted every single violation Aston Martin to get in, and a wave of penalties got down. But the thing is, of course, the media started to do the media thing, and many articles were made saying that, oh, you know, Formula One, they should bring, and even FIA admitted that they're thinking about bringing back gravel runoffs at turns 9 and 10, and I want your opinion on it.
One quick opinion. Would you like to see Schumacher 2000 barrel roll qualifying? And not qualifying, actually, no, free practice.
Yeah, if you could show it.
I mean, if it makes the season more interesting. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I'm not the FIA, so I don't know what the actual better solution would be.
Because, like, I mean, in my opinion, I don't want to see gravel runoffs. It's not because it's gonna cause the track to be dirty, you know.
No, it wasn't.
It
wasn't 2001. I'm actually gonna post it in the chat, in the voice chat.
Okay.
Mila, could you excuse me for 5 minutes? I'm not gonna go like last time. I just had to do something real quick.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna show it on the. Oh yeah.
The greatest example.
I mean, I doubt this would happen, but yeah, that's the thing with gravel runoffs. Gravel does not mean it's gonna slow the car down. Gravel is a physics object. It's like in Garry's Mod, guys. It's like in the video game. People forget that also gravel dirties the track. I think we've had a situation this season already where, you know, people
had to clean up.
Yeah, they had to clean. It's gonna cause red flags because, in my opinion, a Formula One driver will still go to every single length they can to get that little bit of track space going.
Importantly, that's why sausage curves no longer exist at Monza, because, you know, some person decided that it was perfect for them to go through the area in which there was sausage curbs, and you know what happened next? They went flying.
I mean, that was because they were side by side, but the thing is, though, the thing with Monza and Pironi, who was the designer? Why not make, like, you know, the whole of Alboreto, of Michele Alboreto, which is now Parabolica? Why wasn't all of it with the one giant sausage curb? Why that one tiny little bit? That is a ramp. Why did no one think about it? And then, because of accidents like this, you get people who complain about sausage curbs. Is it, you know, is it good that people complain about sausage curbs? Yes. In the recent years, they've been proved to be a lesser solution. They're not the best solution. But then again, in my opinion, Formula One should just change the way they approach track limits violations when it comes to penalties. Just make them harsher. Just like with contact. Why is contact usually, right, just a 5-second time penalty? Back in the days, it was a drive-through and no one could complain about it. It was either 10 seconds or a drive-through. You live your life. You face consequences. 5 seconds nowadays in Formula One is nothing. You'll deploy ERS for one lap and suddenly that's the gap.
I mean, nowadays you can also serve the time penalty in the pits. You can just stop for 5 seconds in the pits, and then the people just go like, okay, you can just continue with no time penalties, and that's fine.
Never forget Silverstone 2021.
Hello, I come back to Silverstone 2021.
Yeah, we're talking about time penalties when it comes to, because I said that it should be, the solution to this is not adding gravel, which would litter the whole circuit with shit. And in high-speed corners, gravel is not a good solution. Like, I don't know whose idea is this, because as Joao posted in the chat, the car's just gonna tip over. Gravel is a physics object, you know. It isn't it's not like in Roblox, right? Where if you go on gravel and, you know, it's shittily model, it's gonna stop your car or something. Nah. This is it. This is a genuine physics object that gets moved. It's not sticky. It's gonna tip the car over, especially since Formula One cars nowadays they're so bizarre when it comes to how gravel interacts with them.
And usually they cause floor damage, and nowadays floor is super important to F1.
Yeah, ground effect and all that. But what I was getting back at is that, Miran, to get you caught up, is that they should bring back, change the penalties to make it more harsher. If you track extend, why 5 seconds? What's 5 seconds gonna do? Nowadays, 5 seconds is like shoving a finger up your ass. Like, okay, it might not be the most pleasant thing, but I can, Joao put it out, I can just come into the pit lane and I'm gonna serve it and nothing's gonna happen. There's no consequence.
Hold on. Are you gonna serve in the penalty? You're gonna get.
Okay, no.
Are you gonna get your ass? No. Hold on.
5 second time. No, listen. Let me correct myself. A 5 second time penalty is like shoving a finger up your ass with a glove on, because your finger's gonna be clear. Like, sure, the penalty is there, but you take the glove off, right? So you serve the penalty. It's okay. You need the penalty to be a whole fist. You need drivers to learn. So, in my opinion, they should make it 10 seconds from the get-go. And for collision, it should be a drive-through from the get-go. You want the sports to be proper, you do harsh penalties. You don't want shit like that to repeat, you do harsh penalties.
I mean, this is the person that just said that we should add another person into the pit lane so they can get their glove and shove it to the driver's butt.
No, I didn't mean it literally. It's a metaphor. God, Brazilians really are the most superstitious people on earth. They also don't understand basic metaphors.
No, that's second to the Germans.
Oh God.
We have a famous German in our server that is.
Yes. Speaking of Germans, actually he's not German, but he's Austrian. Toto Wolff, loved by many, hated probably by more. Did you hear what he said about why Formula One cannot have an 11th team?
No.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. Do you remember?
Okay.
I have to tell you something. Hold on. This is something that usually bugged me out a bunch, but now I just realized. You see, these sorts of things he says on Formula One are just mainly just excuses, because here's the thing: we're still like 2014, in which teams had to share a bunch of the prize pool and etc. They've made all of these sorts of agreements, Concord agreements, etc., just to get richer. So in case the 11th team comes in, that prize pool is gonna have to be shared between 11 teams, not 10. So his amazing Mercedes F1 team, in which he at the moment is suffering a bit, but because Pufferfish is still not working. I mean, it's not working very well, and next year should be his year. But still, he's gonna have to lose money. He's gonna have to lose money so that 11th team can have some share in the prize pool. So he's not happy about it. So he's gonna be like, oh, but this and but that, oh, but this, oh, but that. So it's gonna be like this for the rest of the season until 11th team comes in. I hope Andretti manages it.
So essentially, Toto Wolff is a capitalist, money-loving cunt.
I mean, yeah, no, because there's the thing. Why is a team like Mercedes, right? 8-time constructors champions in a row? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, 8 constructors titles in a row. Yeah. Still at the top despite the W14 and W13, W14 not really being up to their game, considering what Mercedes were, right? But still, you have funding from a multi-billion-dollar company, right? That's the first one.
And 3 other teams, because they have like Mercedes. They have
yeah. You have customer teams, right? You have customer teams. You have the budget cap, which is compared to what the teams spend before the budget cap on the cars. It's such a small fraction of money. It's insignificant pretty much, and yet still every single team functions. And what does Toto Wolff say? Hold on. Toto Wolff. Okay, let me just read you out the whole conversation. So, first of all, he starts off by saying, "We have no visibility of who the applications came from and what the proposals are."
I mean, Twitter exists.
Which is not really true, because the FIA is obligated, the teams and the FIA are obligated to talk about who enters the sport, because the teams have to accept that team. Because, you know, this is about the prize money being split. And and all the 10 teams currently on the grid receiving, I believe, what, $200 million of compensation? Or something like that? I think there is like a thing you have to, when you enter a Formula 1 team, you need to prepare a certain amount of money so that all the teams can be compensated because of your simple existence. Do you see how that makes no sense? And why Mercedes bitching and moaning makes no sense?
I mean, you can hear Toto Wolff right now under Miran's voice. You can hear in the background.
It's Milo's, not me.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing his, he says this: "Our position was very clear. Buy a team. There's a lot of consequences when you look at qualifying sessions. I mean, already now we are looking like on a go-kart track. We are tripping over each other. There is a safety concern. We haven't got the logistics where to put an 11th team. Here in Silverstone we can accommodate the Hollywood people, but on other circuits we can't. Then people like Audi and now the venture capital fund at Alpine have been buying into F1 teams for considerably higher valuations."
I mean,
And
he just wants prize money.
Yeah, he just wants prize money, but the thing is, the thing he said here, we haven't got the logistics where to put an 11th team.
I mean,
I am sorry, but isn't... Apart
that's
from Fiorano,
that's actually kind of plausible. You know, because some tracks have some issues, especially not some circuits you're gonna be mentioned. Not permanent circuits, but street circuits overall. Some street circuits. I think Jeddah.
No, Jeddah is hosting GTWC.
I'm gonna also say something. If
Yes.
I'm not mistaken, I read this somewhere, but I don't have the source to back it up, so just trust me, bro. I think FIA Grade 1 or just Formula 1 venues in general need to be able to accommodate for, like, I think, is it at most or at least 13 teams?
Yes,
13
because that's the maximum amount of teams entered. So yeah, so what is Toto Wolff talking about here?
I think it goes back to my theory that I talked about earlier.
He is a capitalist scum.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and to continue, listen to this. I think football fans are gonna love this one. There is no mature sports league in the world, whether it's a national football okay, I'm not gonna parody him anymore. I actually like Toto a bit.
It's not a very good accent,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. It's very
No, because
bad
you cannot imitate Toto Wolff. He speaks in this very...
he speaks like he's excusing himself out of like breaking a jar.
Yeah, okay, anyways. There is no mature sports leagues in the world, whether it's a national football championship or the Champions League, the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, where such a situation is possible, where you can say, I am just setting up a team and I'm joining, thank you very much for making me part of the prize fund. That's not true, because literally in the NBA there was a new team introduced. Hold on. I know that there were 2 clubs introduced in one of the, like, you know, American divisions. One in 2017 and one in 2021. So what is he talking about?
I mean, speaking of it, like he tried to excuse it with football and everything. We have the MLS, which technically works like F1 wants to be, franchises, etc. And they usually allow easily the capability of it, and usually they allow these sort of things if they pay a price. And we are literally at the moment we are trying to make F1 increase the price for a new entry, which is going to happen. So we now have the money to pay for this 11 teams entry, instead of like the MLS, which is like a bit like 300 million, and with Formula One it's gonna be 600 million. So it should be enough to pay for this 11th team.
Yeah, and to sum up this whole conversation, Wolff said that, you know, they, in the end, after all he said, right, where, you know, you should just buy out a team because they don't want to lose teams, they just say, oh yeah, no, an 11th team, sure, like, we want to have a team that brings something to the cake. It brings more than what they cost the other teams, more show, more exciting drivers. So he shits on the whole idea, and then he's like, oh, but you know, in the end, YouTuber apology moment.
I mean, something he says, I find it funny because he said like, oh, we need a team that actively accommodates like a new market, etc. I've seen this excuse be thrown before by people that agree with him, etc. But here's the thing. Now, Andretti, before this excuse happened, they didn't have anyone to bring into the sport. Now they do, Cadillac. And, you know, with Cadillac joining the sport, we could have more capitals and car manufacturers joining the sport. We should have Audi, Honda, Ferrari, Mercedes, what is that again? Renault, and maybe soon enough Cadillac, if they have the desire to make a engine, or just brand a Renault engine and making like a Cadillac Renault engine.
Okay, so with that off the back, I'm interested to see how many teams Renault could attract with their engines, only for the Formula One project to flop even further. Like,
I mean, they already attract Andretti. They agree to join Renault.
But still, they're gonna be. It's not gonna be a full Renault engine. They're gonna get help from Cadillac. Come on. Look at Cadillac. Look at Cadillac and IMSA. Actually,
and WEC.
Yeah, and WEC. Hold on. Actually, how is I'm not really a follower of IMSA. How is Cadillac doing that?
Cadillac won the 24 hours of Daytona, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but that's just the Daytona race.
So that's important.
It's just a Daytona race. Oh wait, no. The 31 Wheel in Engineering Racing Cadillac is leading the championship. So
See?
yeah, Cadillac knows what they're doing.
Yeah, unlike Enstone. Anyways,
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, because we talk trash about every other like Woking. We talk trash about what is it again, McLaren's position. I think it's Woking. We talk trash about Brackley. We talk trash about Maranello because they have the civil war going on over there between the engine and chassis manufacturer, as Stephen Nielsen said, and yeah, and but we forget how Enstone is such a shit show. It's absolutely hilarious.
And you know what? To this day, I will blame it on the fact they got Otmar Schaffnauer into the team.
And I also blame for Giuseppe. He should start blaming Enstone because, you know, in the 2012 season, Enstone was one of the main causes for Alonso to lose the title because, you know, Grosjean crashed into him at Spa, and Kimi Räikkönen and the Lotus popped his tires in Japan, which costed him a bunch of points that, in the end, lost him a championship.
That is far-fetching, but this is why you're on the show.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I usually throw this around just as a meme. It's not Renault's fault, to be honest, but still, it's funny. It's a funny coincidence that both the races in which Alonso dropped massive amounts of points to Vettel in 2012, we had the Renault causing trouble for him.
Since when is Renault not causing troubles? Speaking of causing troubles, we had the British Grand Prix, right? And I will not lie, I already said this before we recorded, but I watched the race for 12 laps, then I fell asleep, and then I woke up 12 laps later, and literally only Leclerc changed his position because he did an early stop. I want to ask you guys, do you genuinely find F1 entertaining?
I do. I mean, I'm gonna wait for next season because I think this season has, and some midfielder teams are just not having to break yet, and overall TV broadcasting sucks.
I
Yeah.
I feel disillusioned with the sport, like as of late. I think this season has just been boring as hell. I mean, it's okay. I watch it when it's on, obviously, but like, I just turn it off. I haven't bothered to watch full races. And I don't know. It's weird because F1 is kind of like the only thing I watch, because I can't really get myself into like other forms of motorsports.
Yeah, even though some German person tries to force you to.
Uh, yeah. Well,
Let's
we
not
don't
get
talk-
personal. It's
Let's
not
not
right.
get.
No, just trolling around. They're just trolling
But
around.
I mean, endurance racing for me, it's like, I love Le Mans, for example. It's so cool, like the history and all that, and like how prestigious the race is. It's like one of the best races ever. But I can't bother to sit there for like I know okay, yeah, endurance you don't like watch the full thing unless you're an absolute nerd. But you tune in and out. But even then, I watch for a bit and then I just forget and I'm like, oh, it's over. I've completely missed the race.
I get it. I get it.
There are people with nowadays we have people with very short level of attention.
Are you
I-
saying I have a short level of attention?
to use TikTok?
Yeah.
Hey, Miran, what did you say 10 seconds ago?
No, I'm joking.
So yeah,
But
it's
I-
like long races kill the attention of some newer fans to the sport. That's what. But we have at the same time we have an option for for people with short attention. I mean, only if you like like something with two wheels, aka MotoGP. But in the end, if it's four wheels, the only thing with with a short attention span, in which aka races with short limbs, it's Formula One because it's attractive, it has the money, it has the franchises, it's very short in some cases, and yeah, you just want action in all of that short 1 hour, etc.
Okay, I have a counter argument to you. MotoGP.
Hmm.
I think that fixes the problem of short time span, attention span thingy. Like, I don't think Formula 1 solves it. Like, I am sorry, but I sometimes feel like those boring Family Guy memes when I watch Formula 1 because there is nothing to watch. How? In 1 hour and 30 minutes, I have to force myself to feel something about the sport. Like, I have to force myself to look for enjoyment. That's not good.
And instead, which is funny, I just find it fun. I just find this funny. Instead of like giving away instead of because Formula One has the solution. Instead of keeping you bored out of your mind with races that really do not last that long, which last a bit, but not as long as WEC or IMSA, etc. But not short like MotoGP. Instead of just they have no action at the moment with Formula One. But instead, there's also a solution behind it, which is matching to MotoGP, which is Formula 2 and Formula 3. Instead of giving those a chance to like go and get their own TV contracts so we can watch them in other channels, like giving them the opportunity to be available to everyone to watch, no, they just, instead of doing that, they just go, you know what, we're just gonna let them we're just gonna let them have to watch behind a paywall, if it's the paywall from for the TV provider or F1 TV Pro, and that has enough action and is short. So in the end, for me, I think Formula One should form, because it's Formula One management, should just give away like Formula E. They should just give lower free TV cable systems the chance to broadcast these races, because they are entertaining. They will attract people to Formula One to be able to pretty much handle the 2023 season, which, in my opinion, this silence in the podcast is enough to tell you how much we don't care about the season at the moment.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, this season could be even painted as entertaining, but there is no. The only thing that's entertaining is watching drivers have a meltdown or browsing Twitter and smashing your head in, reading awful takes. That's how the season looks for me, because I was an avid follower of F1 until this season. This season, I just feel no attachment to the sport that I love, which is yes.
Sorry, were you finished?
Just let me finish. I am saying that if Formula One wants to fix itself, it should not be called Formula One.
I think what you suggested, Joao, is a very good idea of like making it free. Because let's be honest, us three, do we watch Formula One legally? Probably
yes.
not. Oh, okay, you do. I
Yeah, I
don't.
do.
Yeah, but
and
the thing is, in Poland, to watch Formula One, you need to buy Viaplay, and before Formula One, I literally never heard about Viaplay. Viaplay is massive. Nordic Entertainment is massive, but the thing is, it drew away so many people from watching Formula One in Poland, at least legally, because it's behind a rather expensive paywall, like rather very expensive paywall for what you get.
I mean, it's like in Brazil we have the good thing about we have a TV broadcaster which shows it publicly without a paywall, but for lower divisions like Formula 2 and Formula 3, it's behind a paywall. So it would be interesting for people for like Formula E, which incredibly for us was also not behind a paywall. It was a free. It also had broadcasting from a free TV channel in Brazil. So it would be interesting to see this sort of level of interest from FOM to just give away the broadcasting rights for TV for the public to watch, because at the moment Formula One is not just it's just not attracting the people into the sport. It's making people leave the sport. Meanwhile, Formula 2 and Formula 3 could potentially attract these people back.
I live in.
Sorry, Miran, go on.
I live in Sweden. Everything's behind a paywall. I don't think I need to say more.
Yeah, but then again, you can afford it.
No, there's a reason. There's a reason I watch it illegally. But Joao, I wanted to comment on your idea about they should make Formula One like not behind a paywall. I agree with it. I think it would be good to get viewership back in, but also it's more money for F1, which could potentially go into the prize pool. And if there's less money for Toto Wolff, then I think, unfortunately, he's gonna start crying again.
No, imagine, Toto Wolff, when he hears that Formula One will be free, he would start telling people shit like, "Oh, the free broadcasts, we cannot afford them. You're gonna ruin F1.
There's no
The free
room.
broadcast is ruining Formula One."
There's no room for them. You see the TV stands in Jeddah. There's no room for them. They're gonna have to go in the streets. They're gonna have to be in the free broadcast. They're gonna have to commentate.
He starts
get bounced
passionately making a speech. No, I should not mention Austrians and passionately speaking. I'm sorry. Next subject.
Oh no! Oh,
next subject.
no.
Next subject.
Okay. Next subject. There is the Formula One movie, right? It's being made by Apple. That is allegedly called Apex. That's recorded by Joseph Kosinski, and I'm one of the few people that can actually pronounce his name properly. Enough of being petty, though. Did you know? Obviously, they had like this recording sessions at the track, right? But did you know that Damson Idris? Oh, wait, hold on. I don't wanna mispronounce his name, but I believe it's Damson Idris. His character is inspired and is based on Marcus Ericsson. This is
now
enough for
officially
Sweden, but
that collab
that
is enough for that's just him buying a ticket, pre-ordering the ticket to watch the movie.
I am like, so basically, Brad Pitt's character is based on Kimi Räikkönen to the point that they have the driver numbers, because Ericsson ran number 9, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, and Räikkönen ran number 7. So they basically just regendered them. This is like into the F1 verse. There is just an alternate F1 universe where Kimi Räikkönen is Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. What interests me a lot is how I think there's gonna be a movie about like I think just showing the idea of old drivers and new drivers, aka Marcus Ericsson, and being being drivers that have that are paying to be in the sport. It's probably just gonna be. It just shows the plot. Like it's gonna be a more if this director has the capacity to to manage to somehow make interesting the idea of paid drivers, because at the moment F1 they despise paid drivers, aka
Everyone.
Mazepin. Mazepin.
What do you mean? No, sorry, everyone's a paid driver nowadays because without money you can't start a career.
No, but
And
no,
you're talking about Lance Stroll, and we all know you're talking about Lance Stroll and Nicolas Latifi.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like drivers which are mostly known because of headlines, as we know of, that say like,
yes.
because some companies, for some headline companies, do not care about Schumacher was a paid driver. They don't care about that. They care about Mr. Lance Stroll bought a massive ass team called Aston Martin, then named it an Aston Martin. Got his Lawrence Stroll bought the team, gave his little sweet child at the spot, and now he's snapped some poor French driver's suspension in the British Grand Prix, aka Simon O'Connor, if I remember correctly.
No, Pierre Gasly.
Still funny enough. still funny. So yeah, this poor French person shouldn't have this tire snapped by a paid driver like Lance Stroll. So this movie is gonna. So this movie should at least put it like a good light. Like these people, like these paid drivers, they exist, and they shouldn't be blamed for everything. Like poor Lance Stroll, poor Nicolas Latifi, and poor Mazepin. Never mind. Go on.
I think to represent the accurate affairs of Formula One driver transfers, they should have like a character who wins the F2 championship and then just not sign him, and then he just doesn't get a Formula One drive ever.
And then the Marcus Ericsson character gets it, and they're like, Brad Pitt, like, what the hell are you doing here?
Mila, you need to explain this. What do you mean based off Marcus Ericsson? Out of all the people, why?
I don't know. He's just Ted Kravitz, the Sky Sports F1 pundit, revealed that Joshua Pierce, the character played by Damson Idris, is based on Marcus Ericsson. I don't know what that means. I don't know what image Lewis Hamilton, which works on a movie, has of Marcus Ericsson, but I just hope it will not be paid driver in the worst grid, in the worst team on the grid. But you know what? You mentioned Lance Stroll buying out a team, and this is what Toto Wolff wants. This is good. Lawrence Stroll did nothing bad. This is good.
This is what the movie's gonna be about. It's gonna fulfill the idea of Toto Wolff. He's gonna be like, you see, guys, I'm telling you, this is what the movie said is true. We should buy a team. Put a Swedish guy.
There should be no 11th team on the F1 grid because they're the worst.
there's Alpine for sale, guys. Go buy Enstone. Suffer with them.
You know what?
I mean, they are for sale. To be fair.
Yeah, you can
Alpine
buy a share of Alpine. Why would you do that? That's like a waste of money.
It's a massive waste of money.
Thing is, though, this is a new financial opportunity. This is like investing in crypto, but for F1 fans.
And way worse.
Yeah,
I mean,
do you want to bankrupt yourself?
I mean, this is the same person that is a-okay with crypto sponsorships, and
do you hate yourself and you're financially irresponsible?
Yeah, you have MoneyGram has F1 team, which have like this little
200,000 NFT sponsorships.
Yeah, they have MoneyGram and their like the crypto program. You had Mercedes of FTX, and now you have Alpine.
MoneyGram isn't an FTX.
No, but they support crypto and everything.
Because they're financing.
No. I listen.
I
listen to the Beyond the Grid podcast, right? And the man who hosts it, I am so sorry for forgetting your name. You're a good chap though, but every single time there is the MoneyGram ad, he just talks about crypto. He's just like, it's never been more easier to cash out. crypto into real money. Like, every single episode I hear this ad, I wanna kill myself. I don't wanna have bad financial decisions.
No, but here's the thing. MoneyGram is a company that if I remember correctly, it's a company from Texas that finances people to make money and to get money and transfer money through them. So they're basically they're kind of a bank, but they just give money to people so they can make bad decisions and then have like a bill from MoneyGram saying, "Give us the money."
They're a credit bank.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Let me check. Anyways, yeah, we have new financial opportunities that are god awful. Again, still though, it's better in the eyes of Toto Wolff to invest in a currently existing team. So I guess if you're a capitalist pig, invest in Alpine.
Does anyone remember the rumors? Or I don't know what it was, but it was like in 2021 or whatever that Toto Wolff had committed investment fraud. Does anyone remember that?
No. Did you know? No, this is impossible because Toto Wolff is such a capitalist that he worked in a bank in Częstochowa in Poland when he was a teenager.
Isn't he like part Polish?
He is. He speaks Polish. Like during the Viaplay Polish grid walk, recently during the Austrian Grand Prix, right? The Polish presenter came up to him and asked him a question in English, and Toto literally told him, "Why aren't you speaking to me in Polish?" He was mad. He was insulted. Obviously played it off as a joke, but yeah, he's partially Polish. I believe his...
Oh, okay. So MoneyGram is an American interstate and international peer-to-peer payments, and the money transfer company is headquartered in Dallas, Texas. It has operations in a bunch of places, etc., etc. They have money transfer.
So it's like
It's like oh yeah, I remember now. It's like Western Union. It's like Western Union. It's like Western Union.
Wait, so it's like an exchange. No, Western Union is exchange.
As far as I
remember, currencies on MoneyGram.
Yeah, here's the thing. Crypto.
I thought it was like because you said peer to peer, so I assumed it was like you send money from one person to another.
Yeah, but they have something like Western Union, but for cryptocurrency through a relationship.
Is it electronic?
Yes. Hold on.
So it's Cash App for crypto.
Yeah. It's not
so it is a crypto company.
Yeah, but it's also a real bank, as far as I'm concerned. It's like Western Union combined with crypto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So to respond, Wolff was born in Vienna to a Polish mother and a Romanian father.
He's Romanian.
Yeah, he's also he's also of Jewish heritage, and he was baptized as Catholic.
What?
I mean, Toto Wolff being Romanian is enough to tell you that he's trying to rob you of money. If I tell you to buy
no, he's not trying to rob you of money. He's trying to keep it for himself.
It might explain the partially Jewish descent. Okay, podcast is going down. Thank you for watching Avant-Garde One. It's been a good run, lads.
Yeah, 2 episodes. We're going on there. Anyways, I've been linked by a certain Dutch person. We've been linked a video. Jumping from topic to topic because we're running out of time and I want to talk about everything. There was a press conference and Max Verstappen started to talk about the 2026 regulations, which by the way have not been finalized and everything currently is hearsay. But he started to say that, oh, you know, it's gonna ruin F1. You will have to downshift on the straight because of the drag and active aero, and it's gonna be faster, and we will not be able to overtake, and everything will be bad, poopy, and I will dominate for the next 12 years. Like, I don't get this talk. Red Bull and Mercedes. Look at Ferrari. Does Ferrari talk about the future season's regs? No, because they don't even know what the current season regulations are. They don't. They don't know what car we're currently racing. Like,
I mean, they're firing the head designer for the Aero. So, I mean, that's enough to tell you.
They're just like, oh yeah, where is, I don't know his name, so I'm just gonna call him Luigi. Where's Luigi? Who's Luigi? The head of Aero department. What's Aero? And that's the conversation of Ferrari.
Don't you remember Enzo Ferrari's quotes?
Oh yes. Yeah, the famous quote.
To be fair, listen.
Aerodynamics are for pussy. Aerodynamics are for pussies.
I don't think that's what he said exactly.
Hey, if you use aerodynamics on your car, you're a pussy, yo, fam.
Yeah, that's
You
what
don't know how
it
to
said. If you
build
use
an engine.
aerodynamics, you're a bitch.
And then he was one of the first teams to actually have aerodynamics because
No, he
put it
wasn't.
out instantly.
He
He was.
No,
He was.
Okay, yeah,
I
he was
checked
one
it
of the
before.
first teams, but that's because he got his ass handed to him by some British randoms from their, like, I don't know, mom's
Lotus.
basement.
Lotus.
No, Lotus handed their asses to themselves. I'm sorry. Lotus, I love Jackie Stewart. Listen to every podcast that Jackie Stewart's on the F1 podcast channels. He will not stop shitting on Lotus. Like, it's
I mean, he
beautiful.
was an avid. I mean, he was an avid, a massive Tyrrell driver. So
He was a
I
driver,
mean,
but every single time he mentions that, oh, you know, the Lotus cars, you know, Jim Clark, one of the best drivers. But you know, Lotus, their cars
shit.
were unsafe.
I mean, it's true. I mean, you know,
It is
funny
true.
moments.
Yeah, but wasn't every car unsafe back
Yeah,
when
but
he was
listen,
driving?
but you had the lack of safety because it was the 1960s and you had Lotus. Because Lotus, the thing with them, right? They were very quick cars, but that's because Colin Chapman would literally grab like a, the deli slicer from a kebab shop that they use to slice your kebab. Yeah, he would just
Yeah,
use
of
that
course
and
I know.
scrape. He would just use that to scrape metal off of a car. That's how they got it lighter. But the thing is, that made the car highly unstable and unsafe because the ass of the car would just go.
And that is just sound. I love Jackie Stewart, but that sounds like a massive ass cope. He just uses. Oh, but it was safe. I got my ass kicked by them, but you know they were safe. They did crash once, but they were.
No. He always says that he always drove the best cars.
That just sound. I love Jackie Stewart, but that just sounds like a cope enough. I mean, I respect him a lot. He has led the safety regulations through thick and thin. But man, oh, poor Jackie Stewart. Just one season getting his ass kicked by Emerson Fittipaldi and was like, no, unsafe, die. And the next season,
The next season he
dies
dies.
in his cars. No, next season Silver dies and he goes like, okay, never mind, I'm gonna quit F1. Fuck this kid.
Okay,
I have no more.
so basically, what I wanted to say is that Max Verstappen is over exaggerating and is doing the job of Christian Horner, and I'm just browsing F1 Twitter, as we all know, the best place for Formula One takes.
Don't do that. That's actually mentally unstable for you. That actually mentally degrades
Yeah, but I
your
have a bad
pain.
attention span. So Martin Brundle has said something very controversial on the grid walk during the British Grand Prix, and I quote: "You won't believe this. I have to get dramatic here.
Oh,
Of
no.
all the drivers on the grid, he, Max Verstappen, is the one I want to go out for a beer with because I find him extremely straightforward and honest lad. To be honest." I
who's
don't. That's Martin Brundle. I don't believe in this slander towards the British community. How dare he? The
How
nerve.
dare he?
The nerve.
How dare he say Toto Wolff
he has
is
so-
the nice-
He has so many British drivers on the field. He has Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. Long live the Empire. Why does he not go out to the pub with them for a pint of beer? Why Max Verstappen? He's not even British. He's not even a Formula One world champion. No, but the thing is, it's like
It's a situation. It's like a circus. It's like at the same time, it's like, oh, he's honest, but oh, funny. Oh, 5 seconds later, oh, but you see the F1 2026 regulations, they're kind of bad, bro.
okay,
they,
so
trust me.
dude, the thing is, so I got this conversation because most of the people are like, hey, you know, that's good for Martin for being honest, you know, and then you know some of the replies are gonna get the very beautiful Team LH. And we're gonna get the first Team LH experience of the podcast. Let's go. Max as a person doesn't seem too bad. Whoa. But when he has to fight on the track, he gets a bit too aggressive. And his team are cheats, so 3 dots.
I mean,
Oh, and is that because you are towing the Sky TV line of trying to justify a fake champion driving the car of a cheating team?
I mean, Max like being a normal guy on track, and then like off track, and then like aggressive on the track. I guess that is true, and also when you consider his dad, it's kind of the opposite.
We all remember how I began the first episode. So
yeah, the Michael Jackson line. I remember watching this one challenge video that Rebel did, like funny challenge, and like Daniel Ricciardo's using he's using something to like stab like a fruit or whatever, and then Max just goes, "Oh, my dad did that with a fork on a mechanic." Like, why does he just drop that? I swear, he just like
listen,
occasionally.
Jos Verstappen doesn't take prisoners.
No, that's if I've ever seen it, that's trauma dumping. Like, just casually lets it go.
Dude, then again,
he's an honest lad because he's traumatized.
His father was absolutely obliterated by Michael Schumacher and Benetton, and on top of that season, he was nearly burned alive in the cockpit of the car because fuel spillage.
There is an alternative timeline somewhere in which if Jos Verstappen died in that fire, we wouldn't have had Max Verstappen in the grid.
We would. You don't understand. We would have Max Emilian Verstappen on the Formula 1 grid. He is a canon event. He must happen.
I was about to make this joke.
Then again, like, the thing is, Jos Verstappen has seen shit, bro. Are you surprised?
Bro has been through hell on earth, literally.
He hasn't seen shit. He is the shit.
Then again, to be fair, Max Verstappen still is one of the more calmer, like, generational talents. Ayrton Senna was a menace, dude. While he was a lovely chap to Brazilians and a lovely chap to people who were afraid of him and didn't want
and 15-year-old girls.
15-year-old. We made the same joke.
That especially, but when he saw an Irish person, that was the end of the line. So, do you know the story of Eddie Irvine?
No.
No, please tell me.
I believe it's 93 Montreal, where Eddie Irvine wanted to unlap himself on Senna because he deemed Senna too slow, and they got into a bit of an argument, and Senna stormed his motorhome, right? I believe. A random engineer starts recording it on a tape recorder, right? And you can listen to it on one of the podcasts. But basically, Senna was very angry about Irvine's existence, saying that he should have his license taken away. And when he was leaving the room, right, after having a heated conversation with Eddie, he just lunged at him. Like, Ayrton Senna just straight up wanted to beat someone up because he wanted to one-up himself. At least Max Verstappen has done that. Oh wait, he has done that in his career once. Shit.
I mean.
Then again, Esteban Ocon.
That's Ocon.
It's Ocon. Since when does Esteban Ocon have friends on the F1 grid?
I swear no one likes Ocon, like, on the F1 grid. Perez probably hates him. Max hates him. Everyone who's been teammates with Esteban Ocon
Gasly was his friend, but he now hates him.
Yeah, Gasly used to be his friend. Then now they hate each other, and now they're unfortunately teammates again, which means that if teammate with Ocon, you will hate him.
No. So, it's not even if teammate with Ocon, because he was okay in Mercedes when he was
if
test
Ocon.
driver. No, if Ocon plus Schaffnauer. Did you see the correlation? When he was in Force India and then Racing Point, right?
When he was at Manor, he was a good person. I think I have a theory. Felipe Nasser is the person that created Esteban Ocon nowadays, because before Nasser stole his life by removing Manor for the sports, he was a nice person, but now he's a massive piece of shit.
No, I don't agree.
Nasser never drove for. Nasser never
no,
drove
Sauber.
Nazar is responsible for bankrupting Mana, because in 2016 the championship constructor payout thingy was for the top 10. The 11th team got jack shit, and Nazar in Brazil scored 2 points to outscore Mana's 1 point.
Which is one of the greatest back
It was so heartbreaking. I will never forget Mana, but at least we might get high tech for 2026.
No, but I'm gonna tell. No, here's the thing, Kai. This is something. This is a take in which no person follows me with, but I believe in wholeheartedly. That race in Brazil has to be one of the greatest races in the midfield ever. Like, the battle there was between Verline, I think it was Ocon or Verline, racing Nasser to not let him score points and destroy Manor was so bad. Like, they were toe to toe with each other, and then when Nasser got away with it, it was over. It was so amazing, but nobody saw it because Form just hates back markers.
Then again, I think F1 will never change because of 2010 to 2012.
14, because they also hate. They also made sure to never show Marussia, even though they were scoring points with a certain Jules Bianchi.
Yeah, but like this is just. I think they just want to have like the big teams and nobody else, and this is why WEC will kill Formula 1 in the next 5 years. No, sorry, WEC will kill Formula 1. No, they're not in the same league. I'm talking about manufacturer-wise. Look at WEC already. Next season, do you want to know who's participating next season?
Alpine, Ferrari,
Boo, Joao, you're so boring. Let him drop the thing.
I just know it because I'm actively an active fan lover of Isotta Fraschini. Go on.
Yes, Isotta Fraschini is the best team.
Best team. Because Glickenhaus is gonna die.
But listen, dude, it's basically you have next season you have Cadillac, Bikos, Porsche, Toyota, Ferrari, Peugeot, Glickenhaus. You have the customer teams of Jota. You have the customer teams of
Proton.
You have BMW. You will have Lamborghini. You will have Alpine. We're already at the 12th team. 12th team, right? Who else? Wait, who else confirmed? Isotta. You're gonna have Isotta.
We could have an entry. We could have an entry for a manufacturer for Porsche. I think. No, not Porsche. BMW. Oh no, from
I already said BMW.
Cadillac.
Oh yeah, then
entry.
Another Cadillac, right? But I already said Cadillac, so I won't delve into them again. But
Acura is a little bitch, and they don't want to go to WEC.
But like, do you see it, right? Do you see how many entries are already there?
It's amazing.
And
because...
there is the Tommaso with their P900.
Oh yeah, the base team. Oh yeah, that base. I'll fucking drop is not the first game the moment that Tommaso runs into the grid. That team is
very good looking cars as well. So
yeah, their car is gonna be so sexy. It's gonna probably be the best car of all time.
The only manufacturer we will always miss in WEC will be Acura because
they're a little bitch.
Yeah, because Honda doesn't want to be in the car.
They
I wanted Aston Martin to do something.
And
then I swear to God, Bugatti blueballed as well because they made the Bolide, right?
Yeah, they made the Bolide, and then they just said no.
Yeah, we're not entering this in anything.
This
and now
is just
everyone's and now everyone's forgotten about the Bolide. That would have been the craziest thing ever to have Bugatti in WEC.
I mean, blame the French people, but at least now they have good management.
Yeah, but who likes the French?
Ocon especially.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to this. Who likes Esteban Ocon? Again,
the silence. Silence.
No. I have a very mature and appropriate response.
Tell me. Thanks. Yeah. So, main point. No one likes the French, and not a lot of people like the British.
Toto Wolff is a capitalist.
Capitalist scum.
And
MoneyGram is a piece of shit. But they...
oh yeah, and you should never invest your money in Alpine unless you love crypto. This is like NFT 2.0, dude. This is Web 5.0. If you invest in Alpine, your cock will grow 5 inches.
If you invest in Alpine, you'll have to go to France, and that is the worst thing you could do.
Dude, you're not coming out.
They're going to be Chatillon, and they're going to make you the engine. They don't what do you create the engine with?
No, you will just be assigned to the factory. There will be people speaking French. They will give you their merch, and they'll sit you in front of an engine.
You will be assigned to the factory like you're a sweatshop worker.
To be fair, how else do you think they produce their shit engines at Enstone? The contact between Stroll and Gasly was so insignificant, and whole rear suspension went. Once again,
we should go back to one word. Stephen Nielsen's amazing basically Beyond the Grid podcast. He said there was more communication between McLaren and Honda from Woking to Japan than there was from Ferrari to engine manufacturer and chassis manufacturer. Enstone's is worse than that. Like, they're not going there. The communication with Ferrari was like a beat to two people.
Yeah, but
do you know why that is?
Joao, you don't get it. That's because Enstone have to contact a sweatshop in the Guangdong province of China.
That's the thing. That's the thing. There's less communication because they're like, "What's going on?" And like they're like going through like through an Indian call center just to get to the line from engine manufacturer all the way in Guangdong.
Listen. Alpine is bad. We're gonna have to wrap up soon, but I'm gonna give us 10 more minutes. Alpine is bad because they've had a genuine team boss for 1 season. Like, when they were Renault, they had Cyril Abiteboul, and we all know how that ended. Then for 2021, they had Budkowski, which 2021 was the season I liked Alpine. They were genuinely a good team. And then they fired him.
And then he gave the middle finger
like, I wouldn't even be mad, right? But they decided to get Otmar Schaffnauer in and Esteban Ocon as one of the drivers. That is like, listen, that is like getting, I don't know, just going into a Team LH Discord, right, with your nickname as Max Verstappen Cocksucker 33, and just saying, "Hi guys," and you will see what unfolds, right? This is basically what you're doing.
No. They replaced Benetton's management from 1994 and Michael Schumacher with Andrea Moda and Andrea Moda's management and what pretty much is what is it again? Rossi. Just Rossi and Andrea Moda. The toss.
Yeah.
I still love Tossa. It was such a funny thing.
So to summarize, the French deserve the death penalty, at least in Formula 1. I actually like French people. I've met a few good ones. Politically correct message.
Finally, we're not getting banned.
Yes, we're not getting banned. Toto Wolff wants more money. Please donate to his PayPal.
No, not to his PayPal, to his FTX.
Oh, yeah. Günther Steiner probably wants you to use MoneyGram so you can get some, I don't know, a bit more money to, I don't know, get himself a door.
Toto Wolff's prize fund.
And you should, and if you are a crypto investor, invest in Alpine.
Yes, invest in Alpine if you want to bankrupt yourself. And Max Verstappen was severely traumatized in his childhood, and I wish he recovers.
and you know the Michael Afton thing with the VHS tapes, which is no, like the screaming and there's like a sad music. That's literally just Verstappen.
To be fair though, this season, I don't know why, but I started to like Max Verstappen purely because I stopped caring about racing and I'm more about personalities in F1. And turns out, well, you know, NASCAR still has better personalities by a country mile. But, you know, in Formula 1, I finally noticed that the people behind the wheel, right, apart from maybe Esteban Ocon, they are living, breathing human beings.
I mean,
No, just kidding. Esteban is doing his best. Then again, all the amount of hate that Esteban gets, I think just makes him really awkward around people. Did you see the little interview he did during the press conference when he says that, oh, you know, a lot of people have brought upgrades. Apex GP has also brought upgrades, so we're gonna see what they do. He looks so uncomfortable, as if he knows that everyone judges him.
Like he's gonna feel like they're gonna like someone in the commentary box will go like, "Oh, that's a shit joke. Kill yourself." Like they're acting with that say like that joke was shit. You should go back to your fucking Alpine motorhome and cry about it. Like he was planning that joke in his motorhome from like the start when he arrived at Silverstone.
You have to give him points for effort. At least Apple will have some footage, genuine real life footage to use in the movie. Anyways, we have to wrap up this absolute shit show. At least we're not investing in Alpine. And even if we would, even if we would invest in Formula One, we would buy out an existing team and not create a new one. Thank you so much for listening, and this very unpleasurable podcast has been sponsored by Miran's ice cream and my bag of chips.
And Alpine coin. Best now.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next one. When? I don't know. When something happens in Formula 1, which is probably never. Be sure to be safe on roads, and we'll sign it off from here. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Joao, you're meant to say goodbye, you dirty prick. I'm not gonna stop the podcast till you say goodbye.
Alright, we've completed the lap in Monaco. Okay, go on. Bye.